I'll tell you what's going to happen. If there's no clean food, water, and air, we're fucked.
In so many ways, but not in every way.
Not technologically.
No.
Now everything, next thing you press a button to wipe your own ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, and technologically we've grown leaps and bounds. Spiritually, we've gone 100 years backwards. And the spirituality is what human compassion is. We seem to lose that every year, just a little bit, until it's eroded away to nothing. Now maybe it's going to get better. Maybe that's what we need somebody to come along and remind us of that, whether it be the second coming of Jesus or whatever. Whatever you want to believe in, But somebody good to come down and say, guys, you're fucking it all up. Here's what you should do.
Okay. Was it maybe also something to do with, what did you think of Obama? What did he bring?
It was very hopeful, man, but it's very disappointing right now.
But is he disappointing?
I think he inherited a lot of bad shit.
Yeah, because
one man cannot fix the world.
Yeah, so
I mean, if he walked, they made a movie about it 50 years ago. Mr. Smith goes to Hollywood, or not Hollywood, goes to Washington, about a country guy. He's like got all this great heart, and he's like, I'm going to change the world. And all of a sudden, he gets there, and they sit him in a room and go, nah, that's not how it goes. This is how it's going to go. It doesn't, you have all the best intentions, but that's not really the way it is. And you have to play by our rules, or we'll destroy you.
But then we have the day again. Do you think then he?
I think there's a lot more going on than we are aware of. That is an honest statement. I just don't believe that everything is right here the way you see it. I think that Obama had the best intentions in the world, and everybody who voted for him believed in change, and he was going to make a difference. Unfortunately, he is just one of many people.
But are they also responsible for the killings of John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King?
I am not privy to that knowledge, nor could I even begin to imagine. I would say that, to me, those problems seem so simple. Give them some food, give them some shelter, be kind to them, let them believe what they want to believe, and leave them alone. That would solve the war, not dropping a bomb on Hiroshima, All we did was kill a bunch of innocent people and scare the shit out of the world, yet we're still making the same bombs? Is somebody really going to drop that bomb again?
Maybe.
And then what happens? Then everybody does it, and then we all blow up the world, and we're, annihilated. Who wins it? That's a no-win situation.
No, but then it's just, if you can't win, then you have to make sure the other one can't win.
But then nobody wins. So that's a ridiculous.
No, but
that's why it hasn't happened, because that's exactly what would happen. They've done it. They've done the computer programs, war games. They said, what happens if this goes down? Well, this is what would happen. They would retaliate here. Then what would happen? What would be the fallout of that? I'll tell you what's going to happen. If there's no clean food, water, and air, we're fucked. Then all those gold chains and all that fancy cars and all that bullshit you have is worthless. If you're sick and dying and there's no medicine, what's it all about, Alfie?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think this will happen everywhere at the same time in the world.
No, but it's like a forest fire. It starts with one match, and then pretty soon the fire's out of control and everything burns up. Then what? Then it's dog eat dog. Pretty soon your neighbor dies and you're starting to fucking put him on the barbecue because that's the only food there is.
Could be.
It's happened, when people do desperate things at desperate times. You hear about these people that plane crash up in the snow and somebody dies and they're hungry. They got to eat. It's like they're going, well, am I going to eat this guy's ass or am I going to die? They eat the guy's ass, and they're freaking out, but it keeps them alive. You do things. If my child was hurt, I would do anything. I would cut my arm off. I would fucking rip my eyeballs out. I would try to lift up the car. I would beg God to take my soul and not my baby's. I have love in my heart and compassion. Maybe I could change that wrong to a right, but maybe I couldn't. And I'd have to live with that for the rest of my life. If somebody hurt my family, I would want to hurt them back. Hence the start of the initial conflict of man from the beginning of time.
But you were saying that if you can't do it, then you have to live with it for the rest of your life.
That pain in your heart.
Yeah, the pain, but that means that you have the idea, you have the notion that you actually have an influence. that you can have an impact. And if you don't do it, then you have to live with it. But sometimes maybe things are bigger than you are, and then you...
They are bigger. They have to be. It doesn't
then
make
you don't
sense
have to-
otherwise. It
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make sense.
But then you don't have to feel sorry, because who are you then? You're just...
Well, then we get down to the Star Wars mentality where Obi-Wan Kenobi lets down his lightsaber and Darth Vader kills him, and he goes, and he ascends to be even more powerful than he was as a human, you know?
Okay. Last question.
Right? You saw the movie. I'm not, it's like, okay, kill it. He's doing all this fighting. Why did he bother? Why didn't you just go ahead, have your way with it? It was all for show, right? So this life is all for show, and at the end of it, we just go, fuck it, see you later.